Pat, every so often we'll hear whether it's asked of them or they let it be known that there's some kind of reminder of what happened the last Saturday of November. Now, that could be a good thing. That could be a not so good thing because obviously they got 11 games to play before they get to that date, and they need to get to that date at 11 and 0 or 10 and 1 to reach their goals. At the same time, the last time we encountered this kind of situation was when Justin Fields and company used it as fuel coming off the Clemson loss in the playoff, and it seemed to work out for them to reach their goals, get back to the playoff, and make amends. How are you reading the various comments that are made, whether they're solicited or not, and where the mindset of this team is in regards to that team?
There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the Michigan game is on the mind of these players, these coaches that were a part of it every day. I mean, not only because Ohio State has Michigan periods in practice and things like that, but we were talking to one of the offensive linemen recently who mentioned that they were eating breakfast before practice, and the Big Ten Network is on TV and it's playing the 60-minute version of last year's Ohio State Michigan game. And he said he wanted to rip the TV off the wall because he hates watching that. Other guys have refused to talk about it. I mean, they just don't want to relive. You know, you've done it previously, and now we're in spring. That memory is not something I want to think about right now. So, you know, it's certainly something that's going to be used as fuel. That game's in Columbus, which is certainly always an advantage for Ohio State. And I think it really has refocused this team on this rivalry. And that's not to say that they weren't heavily focused on it, but, you know, you win 8 in a row against a team. It's hard to look at them the same way as when there's that back and forth. You also, and this isn't a slight on Ryan Day, but Jim Tressel grew up in Ohio. He grew up with that rivalry. Urban Meyer, same thing. They both knew that rivalry. Now, Ryan Day understands it. He was obviously the offensive coordinator and a part of that before he was the head coach. But I just think that having that little bit reminder, maybe when you have fewer and fewer Ohio guys on the team as well, I think that was needed for Ohio State. And, obviously it was a painful one for Buckeye fans, painful one for Buckeye players. It obviously kept the team from going to the Big Ten championship game and the college football playoff. But I think that will certainly help light a fire under this team throughout the year, but especially when you get to the end of November. I know for a fact that they do not want to make it 2 losses in a row against Michigan, and they're working hard to make sure that's the case.